Hey guys, it's your bro back with another video. In this video, we're gonna be talking about some backups. So when it comes to backups, it's kind of important to actually have the backups of your instances, either if you're on the cloud or either if you're in the data center, it doesn't matter. So it's important to have it in terms of disaster recovery. So if something happens, if somehow the AWS servers just go offline, and you somehow lose all of your data on cloud. So I'm emphasizing on cloud, not really on the data center. So yeah, let us begin. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to go to your settings within your system. You're gonna see this section that says import and export. You have the backup manager. So first of all, I would recommend to read this part right here, and what it's saying that if you're having two backups, like for example you have one backup, then you have a second backup, that second backup will overwrite the existing data of the previous backup. So that is something that you need to know. That is the first thing. The second thing is that Atlassian automatically deletes the backup files after 7 days. You can click here to learn more about this, but yeah, and it's saying cloud backups are intended for importing into Jira cloud products only. So if you actually want to do for the server, you're actually going to do it from here. Okay, so now it's saying to include attachments, avatars, and logos in the backup itself. So avatars and logos, it can be important if someone is really into those things. If they're saying like we're gonna back up everything, but I would say that attachments are more important because you can add avatars and logos at any time. But for the attachments, it's a whole different story. So when you actually click on the create backup for the cloud, the first thing that it's going to do is to export some of the Jira data. This might actually take a while. So yeah, and the backups are really important, because if really something goes off, you can at any time just roll everything back like it was, and then just move on with your work. But the thing is, those backups should be done. I'm not saying like regularly that you're going to back up every single day, but maybe like twice a week would be a good idea to do the backups. So yeah, and it would be really good if you could actually see under the hood what kind of data is being exported. As you saw, there was like exporting of the plugin data. So it's actually exporting the data of your installed applications as well. So that is something that is being done. And now what is it doing is exporting the avatars. So yeah, and depending on your instance, it can vary how much it will actually take. You cannot have like an estimate and say you know what, this can last like for a half an hour or an hour or 2 hours or something like that. We all have different instances with different amount of projects, different amount of attachments. So we have different use cases there. But when it comes to doing the backup, when it comes to the process itself, the process is going to be the same for everyone, except if you're actually on the data center itself. So if you're actually on the data center itself, well then of course it's gonna be different for you. So yeah, that is the only difference in there. Yeah, the only thing that we're actually waiting in here is just for it to finish. I will come back to you so we don't have to wait for the whole process to finish. I will just come back when it's done. And yeah, see you later. Yeah, I'm actually back, and when it's all done, it's gonna give you this option right here. It says download the cloud backup, and when it's done, well, basically it's gonna do is going to do its export. And when the export is done, you actually have it in here. And when you actually want to do some of the importing, so that is the next step. And then it's saying to you all of these options in here. So, and you want to read everything in here. So you want to import the project data, users, and media from another Jira cloud site. So that is something in there. So when you go, and the first thing you want to do is to import your data first. So it's gonna ask you to import the data, and what I'm actually doing is I'm uploading the import file, and while it's doing, we can actually go and see. So it says we recommend splitting your cloud backup file into 2 separate files: a data file for your active objects XML and entities XML, separate one for attachments and other media. Yeah, the total size of XML file should be less or equal to 10 gigabytes before zipping and importing the file. So if you have something that is more than 10 gigabytes, then you actually need to contact the Atlassian support. We read the third bullet point to actually first import the data first, then import your media files. And it's saying like if your media is larger than 10 gigabytes, split it into smaller 2 to 5 gigabyte files and import each separately. And it's saying import will merge users with the existing cloud users. This may result in users gaining additional product access or permissions. You need to check what groups users will be merged into the cloud site. And what is basically saying is merge with existing cloud users. Yeah, and be sure to check what groups will actually get merged. So that is the another part. It's like when you're doing the when you're actually doing the migration from server to cloud, and there's this option that says basically to merge the groups from your server with the groups on the cloud, and or to actually migrate the separate groups and everything. So those are like two options that they're giving to you based on that. Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing is I'm just gonna pause this and I'm gonna come back when this is done. Alright, now when that is done, we have the option to actually enable the outgoing email or to disable the outgoing email. Now the thing is, when you actually disable the outgoing email, none of the notifications will actually are going to be received. So by default, you actually want to have this to be enabled, and it's telling us overwrite existing data, and it's saying importing a database backup will overwrite any existing data. So you just wanna make sure that this is happening, and you're saying okay, run the import. And when we are actually running the import now, so it's doing, and it's going through this whole process, and it's preparing the database, processing the Jira data, processing the plugin data, updating the database, importing attachments and avatars, synchronizing users and groups, bootstrapping cloud services, and finally activating the Jira cloud. Now when it's saying like preparing kind of a database in a data center, basically you're having your you're hosting your own database. Either it's going to be a SQL Server, or it's going to be like Postgres, SQL. It doesn't matter, but it's still your hosting. So in that kind of way, your database is being prepared. As we can see, so the first step is actually done, which is the preparing the database. Then it moves on to the processing Jira data and the processing of the plugin data. So this and it's saying this can take a while, and they're gonna let us know when the import is actually successful. And yeah, it can take a pretty long time, but remember, if you have some of the data that was lost, and if you had a backup there, you're actually pretty safe. It's better to actually have a backup that will take a certain amount of time to import all of those projects, all of those attachments, than just losing all of that data. Imagine what kind of damage that could be. So I'll get back to you when this process is done. Alright guys, and the last piece of the puzzle in here is, first of all, you actually need to read everything in here that is saying that you need to import your media to test your imported data and media, and also to grant the application access as well. So that is another thing, and what you actually do is grant the application access as well. And when you're actually doing that, so we have manage product. So yeah, so it's saying Jira service management. Well, basically there's everything in here, so there is not really something that you need to add. Yeah, because really everything is in here. Yeah, it's just leading you to your products page. And basically that's it. Yeah, once you finish, grant to any imported groups, and this is, yeah, basically this is it. But overall, you've completed everything, so there's no need for this. And saying, yeah, once you've finished, grant application to any imported groups. Basically, the application access is already in there, so there is no like additional step. Maybe for you, you actually need to do that additional step, like they have said in the previous ones, that you need to add something. So yeah, this is everything that you needed to know in this video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.